If what you're looking for is the story behind the news,
we bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us on CoreTV News on the hour. I am Ebulomo Adekunle. A suspected suicide bomber was arrested by security officials close to the Murtala Muhammed International Airport, Lagos on Monday. The presence of the young man, who was disabled, threw the airport into confusion as people scampered for safety following the incident. He was arrested for allegedly planning to bomb the Centrex unit of the Nigerian Airspace Management Agency along the Murtala Muhammed International Airport in Lagos. CoreTV News learned the suspect was arrested by security operatives as he attempted to detonate the explosive device he wore around his body. His movement was said to have attracted the attention of security operatives, who immediately picked him up. The Commissioner of Police, Airport Command, Wahid Salau, declined comment on the development, saying that it would be too premature to talk with journalists at the moment. The Bring Back Our Girls movement is now adopting a different style of protesting against the delay in rescuing the abducted Chibok girls from captivity. The protest group has now moved from the Unity Fountain venue of its daily sit-out and would only reveal its plans at the last minute. The leaders say security personnel have forced them to adopt guerrilla style of protest.
We have to use guerrilla tactics. We don't announce where we are going to appear, so sometimes the message gets out a bit late. So before they meet up with us, it looks like we're few, but I'm sure now that they know where we are, you'll see that a lot more people will be here.
Anyone who feels discouraged, as far as I'm concerned, is no longer living. Because if I put a question to you right now, do you feel safe living in Nigeria today? Do you feel safe? Do you feel safe going to the market? If you're a Christian, do you feel safe going to the church? If you're a Muslim, do you feel safe going to the mosque? Do you feel safe moving on the road? Because bombs are flying everywhere, so nobody feels safe. So it's either we all come out and fight for the security of our lives and properties, which is enshrined in the Constitution. It is enshrined, it is our rights that is enshrined in the Constitution. Then we all will perish.
Nigeria's moved to one step up from 153 to 152 on the UN Human Development Index for 2013. But in spite of the marginal improvement, the country is still among the lowest ranked countries in the world. Pius Samuel reports that the theme of the latest UNDP report is sustaining human progress, reducing vulnerabilities and building resilience.
There is no doubt that Nigeria has had its fair share of disaster in recent times. This, according to the UN resident coordinator, is premised on lack of preparedness, and it has led to making people vulnerable.
Background, the report presents two guiding principles. First, universality. Everyone should have a right to education, healthcare, basic services, which locks in development gains, boosts social cohesion, and enhance resilience. This, you will agree, requires solidarity of the haves towards the have-nots.
About 12% of the world's population still suffer from hunger. This means that about 840 million people have no access to food, education, and health care services.
The focus of the report has already mentioned there are two underlying drivers of vulnerability: the low capabilities in health, as well as the inadequate policies that most of the vulnerable is because of the consequences of inadequate policies and institutions which are in place. And then you'll be asking who is vulnerable. The report is talking of 2.2 billion with overlapping deprivations in health, education and living standards. As some of you may be aware, these are the 3 indicators which are the Human Development Index as a measurement in human development.
The UN says crisis situation around the world has increased the number of displaced persons worldwide to 45 million. But now, the report has come up with a solution to some of the challenges. In all of this, Nigeria is not folding its hand, as efforts are still ongoing to reduce risk of vulnerable communities.
Discussing the ways in which proceedings to a broad group of involved in risk could be strengthened. The report will also be useful for the global debate around the post-2015 development agenda, considering the fact that developmental progress will not be sustainable unless vulnerability is addressed. I'm pleased to note that the 2014 Human Development Report team looked at 2 concepts, which are both interconnected and immensely important to securing human development progress.
The National Emergency Management Agency NEMA has been working in all the 5 priority areas of the Hyogo Framework of Action, most especially in the areas of institutional framework for DRR, risk assessment, monitoring and early warning, disaster education and capacity building, as well as preparedness, disaster plans, drills, and stakeholder engagement and emergency coordination. NEMA is currently promoting decentralization of DRR activities at all levels with the establishment of zonal and operational offices, establishment of a unit for vulnerable groups, and a department, a full-fledged department of disaster risk reduction to implement the priorities of the Hyogo Framework of Action.
The UN says the report will help decision makers and development actors in Nigeria and other countries lock in development gains through policies which could reduce vulnerability and build resilience to disasters and crisis situations. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
The Nasarawa State House of Assembly has resolved to petition the National Judicial Council over the role played by the State Chief Judge in the failed bid to impeach Governor Tanko Olmakura. The legislators want the NJC to investigate the activities of Chief Judge Suleiman Diko and also moved to punish one of their colleagues. The lawmakers, who sat for the first time in Lafia since the impeachment saga began, accused the Chief Judge of partisanship and also suspended Tanko Tunga, a member of the House of Assembly elected on the platform of All Progressives Congress.
Right Honorable Speaker, thank you for allowing me to present. We have decided that we should, on the rule of law, make sure we follow the Constitution so that because we have agreed that United the rule of law and due process will follow. And under Part 1, Schedule Section 7, Column 20, the formation of the National Judicial Council, its powers and rule of procedures and business. I own our feet this morning and now to crowd the indulgence of this distinguished house to agree with me completely and total that there's need that we should write to the National Judicial Council to investigate the activities of the Chief Judge of Nasarawa State under the section I've just mentioned, because we discovered a lot of mistakes and lot of lacunas in setting up the panel to investigate the allegation of misconduct of the gross misconduct of the governor during the impeachment saga. If this agree with my distinguished colleagues, without any expediment, without any delay, we should agree in the resolution of the House to make sure we write to the National Judicial Council within 24 hours, so that let them look at the activities of the Chief Judge of Nasarawa State in order to avoid the breakdown of law and order in Nasarawa State.
The mover of the motion, I will therefore is by this pronouncement suspended in the House of Assembly for a period of 6 months and he days in the House Senate. The House should note that this does not include other allowances of the Honorable Member. This has to do with his statutory salary as enshrined by Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission. All other allowances goes, and I so go.
Nigeria's health authorities have announced that 4 additional Ebola patients have been cleared to go home from the Lagos Treatment Center. This brings to 5 the number of Ebola-positive Nigerians that have been discharged from quarantine. Lagos State Commissioner for Health, Jide Idris, announced that the 4 individuals who were down with the virus disease are now disease-free and have been discharged.
You have to be symptoms-free for at least 3 days. And that's how that last one was discharged. That's really why he was discharged. Now we have 4 more today that were ready for discharge based on the same protocol. That is, they've been symptoms-free for at least 3 days, and they've had their blood checked. They have now tested negative for Ebola virus.
Meanwhile, before the successful treatment of 5 Ebola patients in Lagos, not many Nigerians showed enough confidence in the capacity of local hospitals to manage the disease. This was the result of a survey conducted by NOIPOS on the perception of Nigerians on Ebola. The poll result made available to CoreTV News in Abuja showed that 7 out of 10 adult Nigerians are not confident in the capacity of local hospitals to provide needed care. It also revealed that 82% of those polled are more concerned about Ebola than other infectious diseases like HIV/AIDS and hepatitis. The poll was conducted before the revelation that 4 more Ebola patients have been successfully treated and cleared to go home. The United Nations has launched a supplementary appeal for $18 million in its fight against the Ebola virus in Sierra Leone. The representative of the United Nations in Sierra Leone, David McLachlan, who addressed a joint press conference with the Sierra Leonean Health Minister, Miata Kagbo, and an Ebola survivor, say it is to supplement funds already raised for the fight against the virus in the country.
This morning, the United Nations issued a supplemental emergency response appeal for the Ebola situation in Sierra Leone. The appeal total is $18.13 million.
We need the 18 million funds. We need it to come to address issues like contact tracing, address issues of case management and treatment centers, address issue of food supplement for isolated districts and also quarantine homes. The patient that escaped from Connaught Hospital actually has been identified and captured, and that patient has been conveyed to the treatment center in Kenema. He was Ebola positive.
It's the CoreTV News on the hour. Take a break and we'll be back with more. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
All new on Bodyworks.
Welcome to Bodyworks, the fitness, wellness, and lifestyle show.
It's often difficult to believe.
Infertility is a condition that can actually be cured.
When you say cured, I actually find that very difficult to believe. I'm sorry.
Being an autistic child doesn't necessarily reduce your lifespan.
Let's kind of start with gonorrhea.
They call it gono.
Gono.
There's something we call plaque and calculus. Plaque is a soft terenaceous material that adheres to the surface of the teeth.
And it could be life-threatening.
Most children who have enuresis, as a bedwetting, about 8 out of 10, I can tell you, will have the disease. It's called juvenile diabetes.
There are a lot of diet pills out there, and
There's no weight loss pill in a bottle. Point blank.
Are you saying that it's okay to bleach?
It depends on how you do it.
And then,
when the fibroid does not disturb the woman, we don't disturb the fibroid.
Well, that's been our show.
Showing every Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Bodyworks. Live right, be fit, and live well.
Thank you so much for being there. Ukraine has accused pro-Russian rebels of attacking a convoy of fleeing refugees from the city of Lugansk with rocket launchers and mortar guns. Andriy Lysenko, spokesperson of the Ukrainian Council of National Security and Defense, says the pro-Russian rebels shot at the convoy, which includes women and children, killing many civilians. He accused pro-Russian rebels in eastern Ukraine of killing many civilians trying to leave a conflict-torn area by shelling them with equipment such as ground rocket launchers and mortars provided by Moscow. And that's the news for this hour. Join us again top of the hour for more. Thank you for watching. I am Ebunlomo Adekunle.